Good morning. We are going to do some stretches for the wrist and shoulder today. You can do the entire sequence seated in the chair, or you can do the sequence standing. You will need some wall space to place your hand on. We're going to do a series of 2 different stretches, one with the arms straight out from the shoulder and one taking the arm slightly behind the shoulder. And then we'll do some stretches up overhead and a little bit of upper back opening as well. So if you are seated in the chair, you want to bring your chair arm's distance away from the wall. So I need to move my chair a little bit closer. And I want to be able to place my flat palm on the wall. It helps if you don't have a sticky mat and a slidey floor. If you're standing, you're simply going to be, again, standing with that arm straight away from the wall. So from here, you want your middle finger to point straight up the wall and spread the other fingers wide apart. Take your feet a comfortable few inches apart so you feel nice and balanced. You should feel like you're in mountain pose, even on the feet. Then take a little bend in the elbow, leaning towards the wall, and look at the crease of your elbow. You want to get the crease of your elbow to turn up toward the ceiling. So this would be the crease of the elbow facing more towards the front. And as I rotate that upper arm bone in the shoulder socket, now the crease of my elbow, the inner and outer elbow, are both pointing up towards the ceiling. Keep your chest square towards the front. And then notice if your hand has cupped away from the wall, press the palm into the wall, spreading the fingers, and keeping that rotation of the arm. Gently straighten the arm. You don't have to lock the elbow. You're just moving towards straight. And we'll breathe here. Keep the top of the shoulder away from the ear. It's a deceptively easy looking move, but you may be feeling a stretch all the way from your fingertips into your neck. And then we're going to bend the elbow and release. Stay where you are. I'm going to sit in the chair for this next one so you can see. So here I am sitting in the chair. Now from the fingertips pointing straight up, you're going to rotate further and have the fingertips pointing back. So this actually makes it a little easier to get that elbow, inner elbow up towards the ceiling, but we're still going to work on that rotation of the shoulder. So bending the elbow slightly, lifting the inner arm up, rolling over the top of the arm and descending the shoulder blade away from the ear. Turn the 2 sides of your chest to face directly forward and slowly begin to straighten that elbow, pressing into the wall, keeping the shoulder down. Keep the entire palm of the hand touching the wall, especially the base of the first finger and the base of the thumb. And take another breath here. Then we're going to move on to one more arm position here. We're going to turn the fingertips down. So turning the hand even farther, you may need to take the hand slightly lower than the shoulder to get the heel of the hand touching, or you might be all the way up in line with the shoulder here. So wherever you are, you're going to bend the elbow. The heel of the hand will come away from the wall when you bend the elbow. rotate more, and then press into the wall, straightening the arm. Feeling that stretch again, maybe through the fingertips, the wrists, through the forearm, the upper arm, and into the shoulder. Breathing here. And then once you're ready to release, we're going to let go and bring that hand down. Now we're going to do the left side, so you can just turn around. I'm going to have my back to you, so hopefully you can see a little bit of the shoulder blade action happening. So either in your chair, turning it around to the other side, or standing, you're going to, again, place the hand against the wall, feet underneath the hips, a few inches apart, and fingertips spread, middle finger pointing straight up the wall, and relax the elbow, relax the shoulder. Turn the upper arm in the shoulder socket. So you lift the chest, roll over the top of the shoulder, and descend the shoulder blade away from the ear. Keep the chest square towards the wall in front of you, and the entire left palm on the wall. Begin to slowly straighten the arm, keeping the shoulder away from the ear. So shoulder down, straighten into the elbow, turn the inner elbow to face up toward the ceiling. Spread the palm of the hand, spread the fingers, and move into a straight elbow. Good, and then we'll do the second position of the fingertips. So you're turning the palm, fingers back towards the wall behind you. Wrist is still shoulder height. Bend the elbow to start. Turn that arm more. Square your shoulders towards the wall in front of you, and begin to straighten the elbow. Good, breathing here. And stretching into that heel of the hand, keeping the shoulder down, rotating the arm. And then finally we'll do the fingertips down position, so turning the hand down. This hand on me feels a little bit tighter, so I'm going to take my hand slightly down the wall. I'm going to bend the elbow, rotate, and reach the heel of the hand into the wall. Keep the top of your shoulder down and stretch here. Feeling this all the way from the fingers, through the shoulder, into the neck. And release. And that is our first shoulder stretch for today. I want to mention that if you have a bookshelf and can clear some space, you can also do this if it feels a little bit too tight in your wrist joint and you want to work on the shoulder joint. You could place your hand on a bookshelf that's about shoulder height, and then turn the palm forward on the edge of the bookshelf, and then from underneath the bookshelf you could press up. So that's a way to do it that will still work through the shoulder joint, but it won't put as much pressure on your wrist. All right, you can also do it maybe with a kitchen cabinet. If you open the kitchen cabinet door, if you can't find a bookshelf that's the right height. All right, so our next stretch you can also do in the chair or standing. You're going to take your chair this time elbow distance from the wall. So we'll scoot closer to the wall here and place the hand so the elbow's on the wall, shoulder distance to elbow. Okay, if you're standing, it's the same thing. The first part of this stretch will be to simply stretch the arm straight up the wall, keep the top of the shoulder down, spread the fingers on the wall. So we're going to call this position of the arm 12 o'clock, as if there were a clock face on the wall that you're touching. And here we're just stretching up. If you're in the chair or standing on the wall, if you feel like you could maybe stretch a little bit more, scoot yourself closer to the wall and bring the arm up higher. Don't get too aggressive with that because we are going to be changing the position of the arm in just a moment. If you're standing, you can come all the way against the wall, perhaps, getting that right foot against the wall, right armpit against the wall, and stretching straight up the wall here. Depends on your shoulder flexibility today. And then coming back to elbow distance away from the wall, you're going to take that hand back to about between 10 and 11 o'clock. So walking the hand back. So 9 o'clock would be in line with the shoulder. We're going halfway between 12 and 9. And then square your shoulders forward, getting a nice stretch through the shoulder, the pectoralis muscles. Breathing here. Remembering to keep the shoulders away from the ears. And you want to hold each of these stretches for about 30 seconds. Or you can count some nice deep breaths. Maybe 3 to 5 long, slow inhales and exhales. And then we're going to walk the hand down to 9 o'clock. Here at 9 o'clock, again, squaring the shoulders forward. Now, I want to show a variation you can do if you are standing. So you guys stay here at the wall if you're seated. If you're standing, I want you to take your right foot, so your right hand is at the wall, step your right foot forward and your left foot back. Left toes turn out slightly to the left, right toes are pointing straight ahead, and your hips, your shoulders are square towards the wall in front of you. So this might give you a little bit of stretch in the ankles, the calves, especially on that back leg, while you're doing the shoulder stretch. So that's an option for you if you are standing. So we're going to take the hand down farther now, between 7 and 8 o'clock on that clock. Good. Stretching there through the top of the chest, through the shoulder, turning away from the wall, toward the wall in front of you, squaring the shoulders, squaring the hips. Taking long, slow, deep, even breaths. And then our last position here is going to be to bring the hand down to 6 o'clock. So in line with the body, rotate through the shoulder. See if you can get that whole palm on the wall. And just observe where you feel the stretch in each of these positions. There's no wrong answer. It's just where your shoulder needs the stretch. Keep both shoulders down away from your ears. And then we'll release and do the second side. So if you are seated in the chair, you're going to turn the chair around. I'm going to show the standing version, so I'll get this chair out of the way. So when you're doing the standing version, you can either be just in mountain pose, or as we're doing the left side now, you'll take the left leg forward and the right leg back, turning those right toes out slightly to the side. I'm going to change the angle of my video screen so you can see my feet. Left foot forward, right foot back, and those right toes are turned just a little bit out to the side, not straight ahead. And then hand to the hip. You are starting at elbow distance away from the wall. Of course, you can adjust that as needed for your shoulder and reach the arms straight up the wall. Good. So here we are at 12 o'clock. We're going to stretch here. If you're feeling like that's not much of a stretch for you, you can come closer to the wall. So the arm is straight up over the shoulder for this first stretch. Palm wide. Draw the top of the shoulder away from the ear. Take another breath here. And then come back to elbow distance away from the wall. Good. If you're seated in the chair, you're just sliding in the chair side to side as needed. And take that hand back to between 10 and 11 o'clock. Square your shoulders towards the wall in front of you. Make sure you're getting a nice stretch on that back leg for those of you who are in that variation. Soft, easy breath, long and deep. And then you're going to take that arm back to 9 o'clock, straight back from the shoulder. Palms still wide, fingers spread. Shoulder away from the ear. Turn the chest towards the wall in front of you, even slightly into the room to find that stretch through the shoulder. And then we'll take the hand down to between 7 and 8. You may find certain points on the wall are tighter or easier for you to do. Just observe that. Maybe spend a little bit more time in the ones that feel more restricted. And finally, taking the hand straight down by the side, turning the palm to face the wall, middle finger pointing straight down. Roll the shoulder open. Breathe here. Good. And release. Step the feet together if you were wide. Okay, so I'm going to show with the chair again the next pose we're going to do. And here you'll have your chair all the way back at the wall. If you're doing this sequence standing, you will stand with your heels maybe 1 to 2 inches away from the wall and lean back on the wall. So just put your feet however far from the wall you need to be to feel comfortable leaning back against it. From here, take the hands to the side, Tadasana, mountain pose, and I want you to bring your little fingers to the wall behind you. If you're in a chair and you have a somewhat low back to the chair, your shoulder blades may come to the wall and your head to the wall. Roll the outer shoulders back. If the back of your chair is a little bit higher, you may be leaning into the back of the chair with your shoulder blades, in which case just have your head directly over the neck and the rest of the spine. Don't try to tip your head back. But if your shoulder blades are on the wall, see if you can get your head to the wall. And then reach the arms forward of the shoulders, keeping those shoulder blades back on the wall, and reach the arms up. See if you can touch the thumbs to the wall. So you can open your palms and reach the thumbs back, other fingers reaching straight up, and then try it with the thumbs alongside the rest of the fingers and see if you can still touch the wall with the thumbs. Lift up. Good. And if you can't, you're just working on stretching as far back as possible. Good. Bring the arms forward and down. Now, if you are standing, I want you to step one of your feet lengths away from the wall. So keep one heel at the wall, step the other foot away. So that would look like this. There are my feet. I'm back at the wall. I'm going to step one foot to the toes of my other foot. So I am now 1 foot of my own distance away from the wall. Now, if you're in the chair, all you're going to do is scoot halfway forward. So your sacrum, tailbone, base of your spine is still midway between the front and back of the chair. From here, standing or sitting in Tadasana, mountain pose, reach the arms forward and up, straight over the shoulders. Draw the abdomen slightly back and lift it up. And you want to keep the lower half of the torso as steady as possible and try to move from the upper back and shoulders. So draw the arms first as far back alongside the ears as you can. Lift the chest. Move the spine between the shoulder blades into the back and begin to lean back from that upper back and reach for the wall behind you. You may be able to rest your head on the wall and reach up. Keep lifting the chest, keeping the abdomen firm. Breathe here. You can also keep your head angled slightly more in line with your ears, whatever feels good for your neck. And then reach up the wall, pull yourself forward and down. So we're going to repeat that, and I'm going to show with the wall, and you're going to stay where you are. I'm going to tilt the frame up now, so you can see my hands on the wall. So I'm standing 1 foot distance away, one of my feet distance away from the wall, feet comfortable few inches apart, and standing in mountain pose. I'll take the arms forward and up, abdomen stays pulled slightly in, keeping the low back long, lifting up. Pull the upper arms back as far as you can behind the ears, then lift the chest more, begin to look up and touch the hands to the wall. You might bring the head all the way back to the wall too, and stretch the arms up, stretch the spine, shoulder blades onto the back. Breathe here and then lift up and pull yourself forward and back to mountain pose. Okay, I'm going to adjust the screen again. If you are at the wall, you're going to step one of your feet distance away from the wall again. So now you will be 2 of your feet distance away from the wall. And if you're in the chair, you're going to come all the way forward to the front edge of the chair so that just your sits bones are on the chair, base of your pelvis, and most of the thigh is off the chair. We're going to repeat this from this position farther away from the wall. Roll the shoulders back and down, lift the chest. Bring the hands to the side, Tadasana, mountain pose. Reach the arms forward and up. Good. Lifting up towards the ceiling. And then pull the upper arms back, lift the chest, arch the spine, and reach back for the wall. The head won't touch this time. Breathe here, reaching up the wall. Keeping the abdomen pulled slightly in to keep the low back long. And then pull yourself up and bring your arms forward and down. We're going to repeat that. So I will show standing. You will repeat again wherever you are. So I'm going to move my chair a little bit out of the way. So I'm now 2 of my feet distance away from the wall. So with one heel at the wall, I go heel to toe, and then I find my comfortable stance with my feet a few inches apart. From mountain pose. Rolling the shoulders back and down, lifting the chest, abdomen slightly back, top of the buttocks release down. Reach the arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana in Tadasana. Upward arms in mountain pose. Draw the arms back, lift the chest, begin to look up and reach back for the wall. Reach your arms higher up the wall, keeping your ears in line with your upper arms. Breathe here. And then pull yourself up, forward, and bring the arms down by your side. Good. Now, either seated in the chair or standing, we're going to do a release for the upper back with Garudasana or eagle arms. So from here, take your arms straight out from the side. You can still be sitting in the chair or standing. You'll take your right arm over your left arm, twine the arms together, palms face each other, little fingers face away from your forehead, thumbs face towards your forehead. If you can't get the cross above the elbows, you're just going to give yourself a hug, walking your hands around to the shoulder blades and rounding that upper back, spreading between the shoulder blades, each shoulder blade away from the spine. Take another breath here. And then releasing. This time we're going to take the left arm over the right arm. So after you get your arms straight out from the shoulders, take the left arm and bring it over the right arm. Twine the arms or give yourself a hug. Palms against each other. Little fingers away from the forehead, thumbs towards the forehead. And round the upper back. Let the shoulder blades spread away from the spine. And taking a final breath here. Release the arms straight out to the side. And and bring the arms down. Thank you for joining me today. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. The light in me acknowledges the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me and working so hard. I hope to see you again tomorrow.